Good evening, everyone. Good evening to transitioners. Good evening to everybody who wants to make a statement. Good evening to everyone who wants to transition smoothly from campus to career. Welcome to day 3 of our 3 days campus to career um, Bootcamp Excel Edition. We are glad that you were able to make it for day 3. Thank you so much for tagging along and not leaving us midway. Thank you for believing in continuous learning. And so today is not going to be different from day 1, and it's not going to be different from day 2. Therefore, stay glued to your seat. Do not leave your seat as we are about to start right now. Thank you so much for joining us, and we are glad that you are indeed with us today. All right, so let me just take a quick look at people in the chat box and see if we can just zoom off. Let me just take a quick look at people in the chat box and see. All right, so if you're active, I would like to see a reaction. You can drop a comment to show that you're actually there. Kindly drop a comment if you are on the show. If you are in and you're active, please drop a comment. Drop a comment. All right, I see Isaac. Isaac, more fire. I see that I get the vibe. Thank you so much, Isaac. If you are actually on the show, kindly drop a reaction, drop a comment, and then we will start it off. We have been on a journey of learning for the past 2 days, and we have learned a lot. We on day 1 recap, we had Mr. Ehun Abednego Ehun speaking at length on LinkedIn optimization. What is LinkedIn? Is it a place you just go to have fun? Is it a place you just go to watch people's posts? Is it a place you just go possibly to make new friends? What is it? He has actually helped us to understand the importance of LinkedIn and how we can use it to our advantage. Mr. David Ej also came in to help us with how we can actually write good emails, how we can write good CVs actually, how we can craft compelling uh, CVs. And so today he's going to have his last session with us, and I bet you don't want to miss out on today's session with Mr. David J. So stay glued to your seat. And also, yesterday we heard a very insightful and practical lesson or session with Mr. David Somenu. It was so practical. I mean, we literally have been toiling around Excel, and a lot of us didn't actually know the basic functions of Excel. We didn't know how to go about it. We just feel confident saying that we are on Excel, but we didn't know actually what to do, how to use the count if function, how to use the sum if, how to even combine rows and columns, how to combine numbers and alphabets. Mr. Somenu helped us yesterday by explaining and showing us by example what we needed to do. And so today he's going to continue with that. And so without wasting much time, we are just going to pray and then we will kickstart. So if you can hear me wherever you are, please bow down your head for a short word of prayer. Oh Lord Jesus, we thank you for day 3 of our Campus to Career Bootcamp Excel Edition. Lord, we are grateful. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you. It has been successful since day 1. Day 2 was a blast. We thank you, oh God. We know that day 3 uh, is going to be a blessing into our lives. Thank you so much, God. We leave today's session into your hands. Grant us comprehension as you have always done. Let us be able to understand whatever that we are doing, and let it impact our life first and foremost and the lives of people around us. Let us be a blessing to our generation. Thank you for Impact Minds Network, and thank you for what you are doing with them. We are grateful unto you. Take the way, oh God, lead us in every step of the way for today's session, and we will follow. And at the end of the day, we will remember to give you your glory, your honor, and your adoration. Thank you in Jesus' mighty name. Have we prayed with thanksgiving? Amen. So, guys, if you can hear me, please put in your amen in the comments. Let me see it. Okay, I can see the chat box buzzing. That is so fine. Keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming as I will wait just a few more minutes for our presenter, our very first presenter. Guys, I can't even see your reaction. I can't see you reacting. Is it that you can't hear me? Let me see your reaction. Let me see your reactions. Put it in the chat box. Put it in the chat box. Put it in the chat box. All right, I see it. Okay, so Rachel says, Amen, 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 amen. All right, so Mr. David J is ready with his presentation. And so I would like to actually have feedback from day 1 and day 2 in the comments. So if you can actually hear me, kindly put your expectation for today and what you've learned so far. Whether it's day 1 or day 2, you can put it inside there, and then we will juggle along. And if you can hear me, kindly tell a friend to tell another friend that Impact Mind is on. Campus to Career Bootcamp Excel Edition is on. They may not want to miss this, so kindly share this link with people on your statuses, share it with anybody in your group, share it on platforms, WhatsApp platforms that you are on, and then we will start right away. All right, guys, let's keep sharing. Let's keep sharing the link with people. Let's keep sharing so that we can start. I sincerely do not want us to miss today's session. Today being the last day. You know, there's a saying that we always leave the best for the last. So I wouldn't want anybody to miss today's session, the very day, final day session. It promises to be insightful, and so I wouldn't want you to miss it. All right, so we are just giving a little more minutes, like a minute, and then we will start. Let's give ourselves a little more time, and then we will just start. Okay, so we will start. We'll call on Mr. David J. So, Mr. David J, if you can hear me, kindly take the floor. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Miss Leonora. I appreciate it very much. In fact, I like the way you moderate these sessions, and I recommend you for that. Thank you. I commend you for that. I commend you for that. I think without wasting much time, we will delve into what we are coming to do today. And this session promises to be very, very informative, and not only informative, very practical. So you can trust that, and stay tuned. Stay tuned. So I want my slides to be shown so that we can kickstart everything. So whilst we are waiting for that, I want to ask everyone listening to me that, what do you think of this situation, that someone you just met and you are trying to have a conversation with the person, but it seems that maybe the person is raising their voice at you, not communicating in clear sentences, or not not going or following the communication rules? What do you think of that situation? What do you do? Would you want to talk to the person again? It's a question, so let me see it in the chat box, that your thoughts and what your answers will be. So you first meet maybe AC. AC is someone you respect so much. You have heard a lot about her, and when the first time of meeting AC was like, who are you? You approach AC, and AC is like, who are you? What do you want? You see, that turns you off, right? So these are the things that happen in our everyday life. And because it happens in our everyday life, it translates into our professional life too. So professionally, we don't communicate electronically through social media that much. So there is a standard communication application that almost every organization is using. So you can either use Outlook, Gmail, and the rest that are there. So the popular ones that we know of is Gmail. And Gmail, every time you would we would have to share and receive something through that means. So I think, with that being said, I hope I'm audible. Let me know if I'm audible. Hello, please, am I audible? Hello, please, am I audible? All right. So since I don't get any feedbacks, I presume everything is okay. So let's move on. So what really will get you from getting your emails open, read, and answered? So I cited an example that this AC you met, because of how she communicated, you wouldn't want to associate yourself with AC again. That's the same
Mr.
with.
AJ, you can actually be heard. I can hear you
All
loud
right,
and clear.
all right, all right. Thank you, Leonora. Um, I was talking about AC. So AC like this, because of how AC communicated, you might not want to be associated with AC again. Sometimes if AC you see AC again, you are not even motivated to talk to AC again. So that's the same with emails too. So in the workplace, your first work sample is what we call emails. So you are not going to be like, if there is a formal communication, it's not going to be told orally. No, your boss, everyone there expects that you know your way around emails. And because everyone knows email, and almost everyone there, or everyone listening to me or will listen later, knows about emails. I'm going to deliver this value that I'm going to show you how or what are the nitty-gritties and the secrets in using emails that maybe you have not heard. You have not heard. So let's delve into it. So let's ask ourselves, how did email come about? I bet everyone has been using email till now, but have not really thought about where it came from and how it came about. So there is this guy that is showing on your screen, and he was called Raymond Samuel Tomlinson. Yeah, that is his name, and it is so fascinating. He sat there. He sat. Sorry, I'm coming on. He started the idea. He sat down one time and thought about it and was like, can't I get people communicating and making things formally now that Gmail is on the scene? So he created and sent the first email on the ARPANET system. The ARPANET system was a system they were using back then, and it was like, let me see, maybe Google today, Microsoft today, and at that time it was an ARPANET system they were using. So he was the first email sender. He created and sent the first email in 1971. And guess what? This thing has crept into every workspace. Now, every workspace, you are either using your Outlook, you are either using your Gmail, or the rest. So it is a very required like skill that you should have if you are in the like corporate world. So please, this session is going to educate you on, maybe you know, but this one is going to elevate how you write your emails, how you send them, and how you go about it. Please, the next slide. So every app has tools, and just as Excel, email also have some tools that you should know of. So the first one is the to section. Immediately you want to send an email. The person you want to send the email to, that is supposed to take the action on the email you are sending, is the email of that person is inputted in the to section. That is where you put that information. So the first thing you have to know is the to section. So you fill that. Then we have other sections that you have to, if you are in need of them, you have to fill. So the next section is the carbon copy. So the person who must know it, we call it the FYI for short, who they must know about it, but they are not supposed to take action. That is where you put their emails. And the blind carbon copy, it denotes that those who have to know, but maybe you are sending it to your two person, your carbon copy person, and your BCC. And the BCC, those who only have to know, but they are invisible. Nobody should know that they know. These emails are placed in the blind carbon copy section. So the first one is the person who must act. You put it there. If you have anyone that you are supposed to add to know about it but not to take action, you add it to the carbon copy section. Then before or the blind carbon copy section, you add people who should be invisible but know you are sending the email. So let me give you a clear example. I wanted to resign from my work, and in the corporate space, if you want to resign, you write a resignation letter, but you have to send it through or via email. You can't just go to the office and say, I've resigned. No one will mind you, and it's not formal. So what I did was that I wrote my resignation letter, and with my resignation letter, I wrote an email to suggest what the letter is about, and I sent it to the HR. So the two section had the HR's email there. But at the carbon copy section, it had the general managers or my managers, okay, my immediate manager's email. That is where I placed it. And the blind carbon copy had to include my general manager, the civil cultural manager, who is not part of my department, and our finance manager, so that they will all know what I am sending, but in different sections. So that is an example that can help clearly guide you to send an email and know how to use the email and the different section it has. So this is every time I'm sharing something, I bring secrets that can help you. So this one with emails, there is a way you can send emails to thousands of people. So if you are supposed to send an email to more than 50 people, this is how you do it. You would now make sure you have someone you are sending it to. So the two section is supposed to be someone who will receive it, and you are taking it as the person should act on it. But after that, you copy the organization you are sending from its email. You place it at the carbon copy. Then after that, the emails of the people who are supposed to be viewing what you are sending is supposed to be dropped, all of them, at the blind carbon copy. So each one of them will receive the email, and when they receive the email, they will not know or have any information about themselves. No one would get another person's email or get to know that this person received the email or this person didn't receive the email. So this is a free secret I am sharing with you today. So from now onwards, your manager says, oh, I want to send emails to maybe 100 people. Don't tell him, or don't get stressed about that. Just do what I've just shared with you. So moving on. If you send these bulk emails, or you have received emails from maybe more than 2 people, let's say emails can be conversational. You can send something to your boss. Your boss can reply, and the HR can reply, and then maybe the finance manager can reply. So be very careful if you want to reply the emails, because we have 2 reply sections. We have the reply itself, and we have the reply all. So if you want to reply only your boss, you should go and find the thread, search through the thread. It's like a thread. Search through the thread and look for reply. So when you press on the reply, then you select your boss's message. But if you want to reply everyone, let's say maybe you are saying thank you to all of them, then you can hit on the reply button or reply all button. So this is something you should know. Otherwise, if you reply something that is supposed to go to only your boss to everyone, you are spamming. So I want to know in the chat box, what is spamming? I give this opportunity every time I'm presenting. The fastest hand will get a reward from me. So Leonora, if you can hear me, let's monitor. It's open for 1 minute, just 1 minute. At 5:56, we are closing it down again. So what is spamming? What is spamming? What is spamming? What is spamming? Do you have an answer?
No answer has come in yet, please.
Yeah, we are counting. We are counting. When it is 5:56, then that will be all. So that we can continue our lesson. So what is spamming according to your
Okay,
definition?
so uh, Isaac says spamming is the act of sending or posting unwanted, irrelevant, or excessive messages, usually repeatedly to a large number of people, often without their consent.
Wow,
That
that's
is
that's
coming
great.
from
So
Isaac.
please note Fiache for me. Fiache has a gift from me, so I would later communicate with Fiache and we will
All
sort
right.
ourselves. All right, thank you,
All right.
Fiache. So Fiache's definition. So let's say in this case, you have sent a spam email to those who are not supposed to be receiving the email. And that is a bad habit. In a corporate world, they will even laugh at you that you don't know what you are doing. And when your message gets to spam, it will stay there. They will not even see your communications again. So please, let's take note. Please, let's move on to the next slide. All right. So let's say we want to enter a room, right? There is always a gate before you enter the room. And the gate gives permission or hinders access. So with emails, the gatekeeper for emails is what we call subject lines. So let's say there is always a security man at a gate, every gate, to keep the gate, to prevent people from entering or allow people from going in. So with emails, the reason why most of our emails are not maybe read or opened or replied is because of your subject line. So when you finish filling all the sections upwards, there is what we call the subject line. This is a peculiar line that we would say carries, it has to summarize everything about your email. Because when you get the subject line right, you can get people to now come and read the body. So if you have your subject line wrong, trust me, people would. So let's say for me, instance, there are a lot of emails I don't even read because when you read the subject line now, you see that no, this not important at this time. So let me get back to it later, and you forget. And there are some too, I think this is not relevant to me. Or there are some too, you not even understand what the person wants to even tell or say. So you just, because time now is very, very, very important. So no one wants to waste time reading something that is not beneficial to them. So let's take note of this very much. What makes up a good subject line? So when you see the slide, there is a stop sign somewhere, meaning that you should stop writing these things in your subject line. Something like hello. Subject lines are not meant for hello. Or maybe inquiry, just inquiry, or maybe just application, or maybe just you put maybe application for employment. No, 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 no. That's not a good subject. No, no, no. What you have to do is that the subject line should capture sorry for the hitch. The subject line should capture one, what you want to communicate. Like let's say a summary, a 2 word, or maybe the maximum of the word should be maybe 5 or something. It should capture everything you have in your body. It should summarize it that much. And also your personality, who you are, and probably sometimes where you are communicating from. So I gave you an example here. When we are, maybe the university students understand this very much. When you are in your second year and your third year, you are encouraged to do internships. So with your internship application, you are required to sometimes send emails. If you can't go there with your university authority, you send it as an email so that they would send you feedback that you can start, or maybe the place is full. So what I did was that at this time I didn't even know the complex things I'm showing you, but I wrote there that internship application and I added my name. Do you know that within 3 hours time I got a reply? I was supposed to do my internship at Edun Forestry, and I got a reply from the department or the section that I wanted to intern in, because I stated why I was sending the email and I stated who I was. If now I would have stated my university too, and probably I would have added maybe a little info to internship application. So let's take note of that. For this is a bonus tip for those who are applying to schools. We know ourselves. If you are in Ghana and you are applying to schools, most professors will not read your email if your subject lines are vague, if your subject lines are thin, if your subject lines does not hold what you want them to know. We used to send emails. So one day I was on LinkedIn, and the guy took time to really explain why you have to get your subject lines right before you get a reply from professors. And you know that I've got a lot of rejections from professors, right? But I was able to get a reply because they read my subject line and they thought it was important to read it and get back to me. Most of the people that don't know this thing about subject lines will not get the replies. So let's move on to the next slide, please. So the next thing is, now we come to the body. The body of the email. You see, you can see an inverted triangle there. I placed it there to show you something. With the body, it should be very apparent that what you want them to know starts before you tell them maybe what you want. So you start with the most important information. For example, I am applying for a school. Let's use Harvard as an example, or Yale as an example. And I'm sending email to maybe a professor. I have to tell them that my this is the reason why I am sending the email. So I am in the person of David J. I am sending this email because I want an opportunity to study this and this and this in this and that like school. So the next thing you let them know is your value. What can you do? So I add that I am a GIS professional. I have the skills of data analyst too, and I know that coming to your faculty, it will help me learn more and also contribute to the learning space with what I know. I have experience in leading people on the field, planting, doing silvicultural management and these things. So that is my value. The second thing I'm adding to the context. So when you talk about context is supposed to establish trust, because nowadays people are duping people. So with your context, if the person reads and can clearly find what you want, it establishes trust. Then with the value, what you are bringing on board, it is what you are bringing on board establishes competence. So the person knows that, okay, this guy doesn't send in this, can do that. Okay, is it possible to bring them on my team? To get this question, you have to make known your value. Then before you ask them, let's say with my application I'm telling you about, then you ask, what and what do you want to know? Okay, and I said you asked that maybe what will be required for an interview with them. Do you understand? So it is like that. And that approach is called the BLUF, standing for bottom line up front. You start with what is what you want them to know first. You don't just start from maybe accent. No. You spoil the thing. The person is supposed to trust you, then know what you are capable of, then the specific actions you have to take, you ask them. So that is the email. Let's go to the professional setting too. You are sending an email to your boss. Your boss already trusts you, so there is not much introduction or much establishment of trust. You just state maybe hello, your boss name there. Then you come to talk about why you are sending the email. What is so important? Maybe there is a incessant communication between the other companies that are doing something for your company. So you put it there. Then you ignore the I have skills because you're already there. They interviewed you before you got there. Then you add what you want to ask. Maybe you ask your boss, what can I do about this situation, or what is supposed to be done? So that one too, you don't strictly follow the number one context, number two value, and the three acts. You go straight to the point, then you ask your question beneath, or you add what you want to know. So that's what we have to know about when you are writing emails. So we have the academic and the professional setting. Please, the next slide. So, as I said, everyone knows how to write emails. Most of us know it by using AI. This allow me to speak some tree. This on train email. Now I do chat GPT. Chat GPT, I'm sending this email right for me. Odu chat GPT boma no ne say watam. Now they are to email Gmail no use Outlook no use no dey go. Ebi okra na on kind. Enti said ye me mamu hu no, or what I thought about CVs no, please let's stick to that. With emails too, give AI your ideas. I want to send this boss to, I want to send this message so and so and so and so to my boss. Please enhance and refine it. It shouldn't write it for you. The idea should come from you. Then I wrote there that write it yourself and assign AI as your editor. Most of the time, please stick to it that AI should be your editor. And that will save you a lot of disgrace. A lot of disgrace. Recently, my friend who is working for one big forestry company, they are called Ladies in Timber, but he is their PR and he is a male. He got that opportunity through one lady. And he was telling me that the whole company, from her boss to the down, those who were working for the company, are talking about one certain guy in another company, but they are joint. So that guy is supposed to send an email to some place to organize an event center for a meeting. And when the guy was crafting the email, he copied what ChatGPT gave him and didn't check anything. He didn't give ChatGPT or what he used any idea or what he wanted the emails to look like. He just said, write it for me. I need to book a venue. That is according to my friend. If I can't state him right because I wasn't receiving the information firsthand. So my friend is telling me that the email, he copied them, and their boss, that's the lady in charge, got to know that this guy wrote a very bad email. So he assigned my friend who is talking to me to get another location at some place because he knows that with what the guy wrote, they are not going to get the venue. and it's a busy place. People are booking. So if you don't write it well, they are not going to get it. And it was true. The guy had to find, or my friend had to find another place for the interview. Nobody says stop using AI. What we are saying is that we use AI responsibly. It's just a tool. You are the master or you are in charge. Please use AI responsibly. Make sure that you are the human in the loop. Recently, I took an AI course, and what they were communicating very passionately was that be the human in the loop, meaning that be in control of whatever AI is generating. Please, the next slide. Sorry for the hitches. The network is very hitchy. So I want to thank everyone for staying to this part of my presentation. Because today is my last day, there is an assignment for each one of us. I taught you on CV. So this is a free bonus or a freebie that we don't mostly get. Everyone should follow what I taught on CV. You can already visit the video because it's on our page. So visit it, craft your CV well, and send it to this email for me to look at it for you. So use what I have taught you here to craft a very good email and send it to K Ej. The Ej is ADJEY. So K Ej David at gmail.com. I'm repeating it. Send it to kajdavid at gmail.com. So I will review it and make it better or suggest what you have to do to really revamp it for anything you are using it for and send it back to you so that you can further work on it. Thank you, and I hope you learned something.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. David Ajay. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the wisdom, the nugget of wisdom you have shared with us today. I told you so. Day three is not just going to be the last day, as always, we see it or we have it. With the Impact Minds, we can always surprise you, be it day one, day two, or day three. After all, whoever thought that we'll get to a point where AI will be a competition for us? But here is where we are today. And so let us take everything that is being shared in our trainings very seriously and then revamp our CVs, revamp our emails, put on a different strategy. Perhaps the applications you're putting on, you're not receiving any feedback because of this petty mistakes that we have been making. And so thank you so much, Mr. David Ajay. He's been lenient enough. He wants you to send him an email, show him your CV. If it needs any restructuring, he is going to help us do that. Thank you so much, sir. At this point, you're going to allow room for some questions. We're going to allow room for some questions, and then the next session of today's training will continue. So you're going to give room a few minutes, like 2 minutes, for questions. So you have any question on what Mr. David Ajay presented on, kindly put it in the chat box, and your questions will be read right here and given answers to. Please let your questions keep coming. If you have anything bugging your mind, kindly put it in the chat box and let Mr. David Ajay speak to that for us. Or if also you are not comfortable putting your questions on here and you're on the WhatsApp platform, you can also do that via WhatsApp. Thank you so much. All right. So, I guess since we are not having any questions coming in, we are good. So we can move on. So the next presentation is going to be given by me, as I know a lot of people know me as a moderator almost all the time, but my real background is in communication. So I have a degree in communication, and I've got. Okay, so Mr. David AJ, there's actually a question for you here. It says, that is coming from Fiache Isaac. He wants to know what is the font size and text to formally use in emails. If you would want to speak briefly on that for Isaac, that would be good.
Yeah, Isaac, that's a good one. But that is not supposed to be a burden at all, because everything has been made to standard at email, unless you want to change the standard. But what we have there, you can just type and send what you want to send with the already existing font and the font size. But ideally, if you are asking me how I send it, there is a Montserrat font there that I use. If I don't use Montserrat, I go for the Romans Times New Romans that we all use. And the font size I use is I keep it at 12 so that it will be presentable as I am writing in a document. So I don't know if I've answered your question. Let me know. Let me know.
Okay, so Isaac, if you have any other follow-up question, you can add it because yeah, typically it doesn't really take any peculiar dimension. But what we know from school days was the font size being 12. That is a standardized font size. But with the font style or how the email is supposed to be structured, it depends on where you are sending it to. From my experience, where I went to school, we always go with the Harvard style. And some people also go with the APS style. So that one is dependent on where actually you are sending that particular document to. So it's almost important, or should I say, it's always vital to find out, even if you are sending something to an organization and they are not even in the continent, they find themselves in a different continent. I think it's very necessary for you to do a quick search on that particular institution you intend to send that message to know how normally they structure theirs. That will give you a clear idea on how to structure yours too. So if the question is okay, so Isaac has a follow-up question. He says, and also in writing, CV writing, what is the correct font style and size? So I think, Isaac, that would also be dependent on you as the person and where exactly you are writing to. But with the size, what I know is font size 12. That is the acceptable and the standardized one that cuts across and people use. All right, thank you so much. So it's 6:19 here. So we just have my session. And so today we're going to be looking at communicating our Excel skills confidently. So without wasting much time, unfortunately, where I am is a bit unfavorable for me to share to on my camera for you to see my face. So kindly permit me so that I go with the audio as you can hear me. Thank you. So let me quickly present and then we'll start. We'll start. Please put it in the chat if you can actually hear me so that I know that I can be heard. Please confirm if you can hear me and also if you can see my screen because I've started sharing my screen. Okay, you can hear me. All right, thank you. Please also confirm if you can see my screen. Can anybody see my screen? Can anybody see my screen, please? Okay, so Isaac says he can't see my screen. Is that the situation with everybody? Okay, so some other people can also hear me. All right, so let's give it a little more time and see if we can all see the screen. Okay, so it's now showing. Thank you so much. So please, to the rest of us, can we also see? If you can see my screen, kindly put it in the comment for me to know you can see it. Okay. All right. So I have two people saying they can see it now. Okay, so we'll just start it off. So my name is Leonora Enyonam Ano. That is my name. But there is one other name that I normally would like to hide in my closet. Yes, so that is like a house name for me. But then I go by or I respond to Leonora Enyonam Ano. And you can find me on Facebook and you can find me on LinkedIn as well. And then I have a degree in communication studies. My majored in journalism. And so that is where my specialty is. For today's presentation, we're going to be looking at communicating data with confidence, turning Excel skills into career opportunities. Now, I know a lot of people would have questions, and so as we're going on, if you have any questions, you can put it in the box, the chat box. So somebody may ask why this works, why even such a topic for this bootcamp, because after all, we are learning Excel, we are learning CV writing, we are learning LinkedIn optimization. So why the need for communication? And I tell you what, communication is very necessary, it's very vital, it's very imminent. It's something we can't do away with. It's something that has come to stay with us. And so first of all, let us have it at the back of our minds that participants, especially those of us here, we are here not to just learn communication. So this part of the presentation is not going to take the normal routine of what is communication, what are the types of communication. No, that is not what we are here for. We are actually learning communication in an Excel way, if you care to put it that way. We are learning how to communicate our findings because a lot of people, I have conversations with people who are even researchers and they dig deep, they discover things, but a lot of times they don't know how to communicate their findings. And so we at the Impact Minds Network thought it necessary to actually incorporate this part of presentation in our training because we thought it wise that people need to know or people needed to know how necessary or important it is to communicate their data results, because we know that being able to communicate your data results or being able to have mastery over your data results is dependent on how best you're able to communicate your findings. In other words, you are able to give accurate judgment and you are able to take good decisions only if you're able to communicate your data set or your data results. And also, many graduates have skills but can't explain, present, or sell them. A lot of people have gone to schools. And at the end of the day, so this is what actually employers are looking out for. We all say we've been to school, but at the end of the day, what differentiates you from one person from the other? What makes an employer want to, or what will make an employer want to hire someone over you? It's not just you writing on your CVs. It's not just you writing on your letterheads that you can do this or you can do that. But it's actually your ability to say that you can do what you said you have in your CV. And then also, employers value people who can interpret data and communicate insights clearly. So even if you, like the way we had a practical session yesterday, even if you are able to see, or you're able to see that indeed this is the rows, these are the columns, but you're unable to make a judgment out of your findings, or how to even communicate that indeed yesterday when we were looking at schools that represented Impact Mind Network Excel Edition Bootcamp, we're able to see that it was Legon because they had 18 in attendance. Now 18 is in attendance. So what next? What happens? How are you communicating this value, or how are you communicating these findings in a way that people can actually make meaning out of it? And also, this topic is very necessary because it bridges technical skills plus communication and then makes you career ready. Having the skill alone is not enough. Having the career skills alone isn't enough. But actually, when you combine the two, it shows your readiness and your zeal and want to compete at the job market. So we'll go to the next slide. So what are the objectives of today's session? So at the end of the session, I would like us to be able to understand why communication is critical to career success, and also explain Excel skills clearly to employers and colleagues, and also present data insights confidently, and last of all, and also to look at some common communication mistakes graduates make. It's not just about going to school, but converting that knowledge, that theoretical knowledge you have acquired, coupled with the skills you have garnered, and showing actually to your bosses that you've got your craft, you know what you are about. So that is what we are doing today. Next slide. So who here has learned Excel before? I know a lot of people are going to say yes. They are going to respond in affirmative. So yeah, we all have learned Excel, and then we are so confident to raise up our hands and say we are versed in Microsoft Suite. We are able to use Word. We're able to use Excel. We're able to use PowerPoint. That is all fine. That is all fine. But always know that to make yourself competitive enough at the job market, it shouldn't just rest that I know how to do this. Oh, I'm proficient. And we always like to qualify with the big grammar. I'm proficient in this, I'm proficient in that. But at the end of the day, you realize that when your potential employer is in front of you and asks you to show what you can actually do, then that is when we start fidgeting and then we have sweaty palms and all that. So I'm also asking again, who struggles to explain their Excel skills confidently? And so that is why I'm saying that it is very important for you to be abreast with communication skills. It's very important we all learn how to communicate one way or the other. It's one thing having the skill, and it's one thing being able to communicate it or give meanings or make it impactful to the other person listening to you. So I'm saying that skills are powerful only when they are well communicated. It's true. Having the skill may be beneficial to you alone as the person having the skill, but being able to communicate it effectively now makes you impactful, because now you are impacting knowledge not to yourself, but then you are impacting knowledge to people around you. So I just want us to compare something over here, campus versus workplace reality. So on campus, most of the time, the focus is on correct answers. I remember in school when, IAs marked, and then people get 30 over 40, 35 over 40. No, they are always asking, why didn't I get everything? Why didn't I mean, what was the lecturer doing with the 5 marks? So that was the mentality back on campus. We always are grades oriented. It's always grades first rather than any other thing. And also to emphasize, while on campus, it's all about individual performance. That is why you take your IAs alone. That is why you take your end of semester exams alone. But I'm fortunate enough to say that I went to a school where it prioritizes group works, and it prioritizes campaigns among groups. So back in school, I remember I did a couple of group works. We Some of the group works, it went as far as even traveling from um Accra to go to other regions to go and research and then come back with our findings and then make judgment out of our findings. So we are saying that on campus, it focuses on correct answers and then individual performance. But when it comes to the workplace, the focus is now diverted from correct answers or individual performance to insights. It focuses on insights. It focuses on team understanding, and then it focuses on decision making. So I may have a background in communication, but then I also was privileged to work in a banking sector. And so while I was there, I noticed, or I learned that it wasn't individual performances anymore. Anything we do, even if you do the work individually, your boss do not come to you as a person and ask or find answers from you. It's always about the team lead. And funny enough, it's not the team lead who is actually working. You are the one working, but because in a workplace setting, it recognizes team rather than individuality. Therefore, we need to understand these skills. We need to understand this disparities before we move along. Else, if you don't psych your mind, you enter into a place, you enter into a professional workplace, and then you'll be focused on, okay, what can I do? No, it's no longer about what you can do. Individual performances are not bad, but then when it comes to workplace, you should prioritize teamwork rather than individual performances. And also, I leave you with another thing over here, which says Excel gives answers, but communication gives meaning. What I'm saying, I may not go all, you can see me showing my slide all right, but at the end of the day, you remember or you can attest to the fact that the explanations I'm giving, I'm communicating it in a way that people can actually make meanings out of it. That is why people may want to even copy at the exam hall, but how to communicate it becomes a hurdle. We'll go to the next slide. Please, if you have any question, you can put it inside the chat box whilst we move along. So I have a problem statement over here. It says many graduates possess technical skills like Excel, but lose opportunities because they cannot communicate value clearly to employers. Many graduates possesses technical skills like Excel, but lose opportunities because they cannot communicate their value clearly to employers. And please, if at any point you can't hear me, kindly draw my attention. Thank you. Okay, so this is the problem, and this is the reason why we need to talk about it. It's not all about I've graduated with a first class, I've graduated with an upper, I graduated with a lower. It's about what actually we are not doing right, which makes us we don't look competitive enough, we don't look fierce enough. That is why you keep on putting in applications, yet nobody is minding you because you don't possess the kind of skills that employers may want from you. So we are learning skills, but we are not learning how to communicate those skills in a way employers understand. So today we are not just talking about Excel, We are going to talk about how to turn the Excel skills into career opportunities through communication. So let me cite yesterday too as an example. Yesterday we were looking at basics in Excel. At the end of the day, if somebody should ask you, you joined an online training, a boot camp, what did you learn? The person is not demanding a calculated work, or the person is not asking you to come and start drawing tables for them to see. The individual is not asking you what is count if, what is count, what is sum if. No, that is not what the person is requiring from you. As a matter of fact, the person wants to know how the knowledge or what you just shared with him or her can be beneficial, can be useful to them. And so if it's okay to have knowledge in Excel skills, it's okay to have data analytics skills, it's okay to be able to be conversant with all these things. But what we are trying to say over here is that communicate your findings in such a way that people can understand you. Translate your Excel numbers and charts into something that can be viable, people can actually work with. And so we have some key terms that we want to define over here. So, like I said before we started, we are not towing the normal line of what is communication, state the types of communication, who brought about communication, what did a person propounded, or what. That's not the focus for today. We are learning how to communicate our findings in Excel communicatively in a way that people can make meanings out of it. So, for some key terms over here, we say we have communication. That is the ability to clearly explain ideas, information, and insights so others understand and can act. Always remember that you need people to make uh, to make judgments out of the findings they've done. They have to. That is why even in mathematics, when you are done with your calculation, I remember that's very well from school. You do the 3 points and you say therefore. So therefore is what we are trying to say right now, that after all the calculations, after all the comparisons have been done, what next? How do you now give people a justification for what you just did? How do you seamlessly explain your findings to people in a way that they can understand you? So we'll go to the next slide. But for the key terms, we have communication, we have data communication, we have insight. And insight is a meaningful conclusion drawn from data that answers a question or solves a problem. So it's not all about just solving problems. After solving the problems, what conclusion did you draw from your chart? Did you draw from your data? Let's say you go into a particular community to survey there. You want to know why the people lack maybe potable drinking water. At the end of the day, when you are able to formulate your hypothesis, state the problem statement, and all of you, when you are done, what next? What do you do? Has your findings been communicated in a way that people can draw conclusions out of it, people can make meanings out of it? I mean, I have a friend who works in an institution here in Accra, and the person says they always go to a certain village, a certain community to educate people on bilharzia. They do their research, they go there, they share with the people this and this and that. Okay, so every year, people in this community die as a result of this, as a result of that. But every year, the funny thing is they go back to that community to just do a follow-up on the research they've done, only to find out that the cases of bilharzia keeps going up, it keeps increasing. Why is that? And you ask yourself, why is it that these people are not recovering from this research we've done? They actually go with medicines. They actually go with, they go as a team, educate them, and then they come back. But I can tell you for a fact that there is a communication problem somewhere. The fact that you are able to speak does not mean that when you speak, people can understand. The fact that you've showed working, you've calculated something, or you've showed mathematical or formulas and all that doesn't make somebody understand exactly what you are talking about or the meaning that you are giving people. And so it's very necessary to keep your communication in check. Always make sure that people can actually make meanings. People can, first of all, understand what you are showing them, first of all. And if they can make any deductive conclusion from what you are telling them. So, next slide. So, what employers care about communication? First of all, why do employers want people who can actually communicate? First of all, they need people who can communicate what the data that they found out or the findings they've done, what it actually means, how it can be conversed, or how it can be transformed into something they can work with that can derive or bring about results that can bring results to them. It's not about, okay, so when we went on the market, assuming you work in a bank, it's not about when we went into the market, we realized that people do not know about our product, or they don't know about this lifetime or lifestyle plan that we've brought about. Wow, you've brought the numbers. They do appreciate it. But at the end of the numbers, what can you say? What are the numbers communicating? Is the numbers showing something? Or when you compare past researches done or speaking to the public, when you compare previous years, what are the numbers showing you? What are the numbers saying? Is it communicating that you should look at a particular channel again? Must you go back and go and check what you have done in time past? So that is the essence of communication. And so that is why employers would always want to choose somebody who is competitive. And now you are going to be competitive only if you give skill, and you always give, um, you're able to communicate that skill that you have learned or you've been trained on. Secondly, employers are so mindful about communication because it connect numbers to business decisions. So this is what we've been talking about. It's not just about the numbers. It's not just about the findings. At the end of the day, what did the findings bring about? What did they communicate to people? Did they ask people to take a certain decision? Did they ask people to make a certain abrupt stop when it comes to certain things that they do? Because if you come to me when I'm passing, or I'm just there, or you bump into me and you ask me to take a certain decision based on maybe a product you are having, after you telling me everything, now what next? Why should I move ahead to take a decision, or why should I take that leap? Is it because you are saying so? No. Communication is actually breaking down, telling people why they need to do this or that. And this is where you buttress it with numbers. And you said, okay, people are suffering from malaria. So and so and so is the case. It's because maybe people have stopped sleeping under treated mosquito nets, or people do not clear their surroundings anymore. At the end of the day, whilst you are showcasing the numbers that speaks to your situation or speaks to your problem, then you are also, based on your communication skills, you are also asking them to take a step. They should take a decision, or there's an action call that they need to go by. Lastly, employers would want to prioritize communication because you communicate clearly with non-technical teams. You see, most of the findings come in, especially when you go to the scientific people, all their researches is all about one scientific term or the other. And trust me, the lay persons walking on the street do not have time to go and Google what your jargon means. They are all about, okay, so what should I do? And this should be best explained in the simplest way possible for people to be able to take decisions. So Excel plus communication now gives you employability. When you're able to combine your Excel skills and your communication skill, that is when you become competitive. And so now I want to talk about some common graduate mistakes. And so you find people boldly write on their CVs. I used to do this a lot until I got to know better. I know Excel. I'm good with spreadsheets. That is fine. But if we actually give you maybe a seat to sit on it and then show actually what you can do with your Excel, can you finish doing all the calculations and give good justification for the solution you have arrived at or the data you have arrived at? So we are saying that employers would actually want to see how you solve the problems, how Excel helped you, how you communicated it, and what results it produced. How was the person you helped or what you did with Excel? How did it actually make people take a decision or made them to understand exactly what you have stated or what you have said you can actually do? So these are some common mistakes that graduates do, and I would want us to actually take a second look at it and work on it. So the next slide. So I have an activity here. This you can actually put it in the chat box if you have an answer to that. So we are saying that which one sounds more employable? A, proficient in Microsoft Excel. B, I used Excel to analyze data and present clear insights for decision making. So if you are an employer and you find these separate responses or statements in, your potential employees' CV, honestly speaking, who would you go with? Is it the one who says they are proficient in Microsoft Excel or the one who actually said he used Excel to do this and arrived at this? And so, one clear mistake I used to make when I was in school or when I was doing my service. Yes, that was when I was doing my service. Right after service, and I needed a job. You always want to show that you've worked here, you've done this, you've done that. And so I would want to state that, oh, I did this, I helped did that, I helped to do this, without attaching exactly what I did. And so where I did my service, we actually use a unified an app. It's called Unified Case Management System. So just opposite to somebody who says I can work with apps, and then somebody who says I can actually use UCMS to actually see people's to log in problems and also to help resolve problems on that same app. As an employer, just be honest with yourself and ask yourself, who are you actually going to employ? Is it the person who has stated on their CV that they can use apps to work, or the one who will tell you, I used so and so app and I was able to do this with it, and this was the result I derived after using the app? So that is there for us to ponder over. Yeah, so I think the next one is communicating Excel skills on your CV. So instead of saying proficient in Excel, rather go for analyze data sets using Excel to identify trends. Even to some extent, you're supposed to even show in what space did you identify that trend. Is it in the entertainment industry? Or maybe you worked at a particular firm. So, I analyze data sets using Excel to identify trends in maybe the fashion industry or in maybe agroforestry. You are supposed to, these things actually make anybody who is willing or is looking out to employ you understand that indeed this person knows what he or she is talking about, rather than you telling them you are proficient in this. So I think this is the time for us to look at our CVs again. Go back to your CV, check what you've just listed, something you just enlisted that you can do, and now give your potential employer or your potential employers actually the benefits. Let them see indeed that you're able to work with this and you're able to derive answers. So the next one is use or maybe you use Excel formulas and charts to summarize data for reports. That is more concrete than you just stating that you are proficient in Excel. That is far-fetched. Nobody cares about, because we all can lie. We all can sit behind our phones and then type anything at all. But going a step further and showing what you are actually able to do with the tools you are saying you can work with gives you an upper hand over the person you are competing with. So the next slide. So we are saying that in activity 2.0, CV rewrite. So I think it's about time we go back to our CVs, like I stated. Check your CVs and rewrite or restructure it, because perhaps the applications you are putting in is not giving you any feedback because of these petty mistakes that we are unconscious of. So I know Excel. Take the statement, I know Excel. That is not enough. So rewrite it based on the knowledge that we have garnered here. Rewrite it into a strong CV bullet. Even if you help at church, even if you are an usher at church, you deal with human beings, right? So you can see that you lead uh, you lead about 50 people, or you direct about 50 people to, do something. So you can find a very nice way to qualify your work at church. So I'm an usher, so I manage the affairs of people, and these people are numbered 50. So I manage the comfortability of people, and it's very true. You are ensuring that people sit comfortably. So you are managing their comfortability. And so nobody will say you are lying if you actually state that. You state actually that in your CV. You are actually managing the well-being and the comfortability of about 50 people. That is way better than you say, I'm an usher. That alone does not make somebody want to look at you twice. So the next thing is communicating Excel skills in interviews. Here again, I've highlighted three structures or three things that we want us to look at. So before we take any interview, or before we sit for any interview, just look at it. Look at it this way. So the problem, what you did in Excel, and what was the outcome. That should be of essence to us than you just highlighting that you know how to use Excel. So there's an example here which says, I use Excel to clean and analyze data, then created charts that simplified reporting. That is so much better than you saying that I work with Excel, or I'm familiar with Excel. You are familiar with Excel, no doubt about it. But what actually can you do with Excel that will bring value to people? So in this case, I use Excel to clean and analyze data. Maybe the data, like yesterday we had it. When you're working on data, you can have duplicate, you can have a lot of mistakes in it, you can have loopholes in it, you can have even errors in the data you are working with. But at the end of the day, you saying that you can use Excel to do this and that, to actually clean data, to analyze data, gives you more importance than somebody who will just take vaguely that I am familiar with Excel. So please, let's go back to our CVs and see what needs to be corrected. Next slide. So we are saying that rather than you saying, okay, so the question is, tell us about your Excel skills. And now I don't expect you to just write, I can use Excel. I can use it to, no. You can use it. All right. We all understand that. But how can you use the Excel? Can you translate it from this to that and arrive at this? That is what we are saying you should be able to do. So rather demonstrate it than just saying it. And also some common mistakes that we make in our emails. So normally we see people say, please see attached. Please see attached. No, we are saying that rather than saying please see attached, rather write attached is an Excel summary highlighting key trends. The main insight is steady increase over 3 months. You see, this carries weight. This communicates much more better than you just stating that please see attached. Even to some extent, when people are applying for roles, they don't actually and put a heading like they are applying for the role of a waitress. They don't even put the job description in the subject area. They don't, they leave it vacant. But mind you, you are applying for work or an opportunity where a lot more people are also applying for. So at the end of the day, what are you saying? And mind you, the employer doesn't have the time to go searching for your name or going to look in. All right, indeed, they say they want cover letters, they want this, but a lot more time. They don't have that time to go through everything. And so save yourself that stress of making an employer look at your application and just throwing it away. Just write what needs to be written and then you are good to go. So we are saying Excel doesn't speak, you do. And so try to use your communication skills to your advantage. Next one. So I think we'll do away with the activities and then we'll just go ahead. So we are saying presenting data simply. When presenting data, first of all, avoid jargons. We know every work environment or every niche has got the kind of languages they use. But in order to explain your data in a simplified way for people to understand you, avoid jargons. Let your findings be seamless. Let your findings be seamless. And then the second one is highlight key insights from the keywords we explained. We already understand what key, insights are. So highlight your key insights and also use charts to tell a story. Don't just draw a chart and leave it there. Make deductions of your chart. At the end of the day, this and this, maybe even if it's a pie chart you just draw or you just illustrated, there are sections. Compare them. Say that at the end of the day, so this structure or this chart over here is showing us that at the end of the day, this part shows this part shows that. Give highlights. Let people understand the data that you are talking about. Don't just leave the data in a vague mode for people to have their own interpretations to it. Rather, explain your findings that people will be able to make meanings and be able to take decisions out of the data you have presented them. So ask yourself, if my manager has 2 minutes, what must they understand? Do you have a compelling story to give to them? Or it's just about, okay, I arrived at 2. After my comparison, after checking this, after analyzing this data, is that all you have to tell your boss? You should be able to communicate your findings in a way that will make meaning. And so the key takeaways, I will leave you with some key takeaways. First of all, Excel is a technical skill. That is what we ought to understand. Excel is a technical skill and it's very good and it's very essential. We all have technical skills in this age and time. I mean, the world has gotten to a point where we need these technical skills. A lot of content creators, they are able to, take their own videos, edit them. They are able to check their analytics and know what's happening. You get it? So it has gotten to that point where we need to be abreast with a lot of things. And technical skills like Excel is something that you should not take for granted. And also, communication is a career skill. Communication is a career skill. While you may want to just go on YouTube and learn, a technical skill, communication is actually a career skill that may take you probably some number of years to acquire. And in my case, I had to go to school for 4 years to learn this. And also, it doesn't end there. You keep learning, you keep opening yourself to learning for you to understand it better. And we are saying that combining both makes you competitive. Imagine being able to speak or communicate effectively in ways and manner that people can understand and make meanings and draw conclusions and take decisions out of it, and also having a technical skills. You will always be chosen when there are a lot of people sitting to be also selected as you. So at the end of the day, you combining your technical skill and your career will set you apart from the others. So remember, don't just use Excel, communicate the value. And so the final reflection, I leave you with a question. What is one way you will communicate your Excel skills better after today? Are you just going to say, okay, so after counting it, I realized that the average of the chart was this. Maybe when you take 50 students, the average is this. After I combine, no. At the end of the day, what can you do with the findings? Can you say it in a way, or can your findings make people to derive meaning from what you are saying? And that is what we are talking about: communication skills, being able to communicate it effectively, whether it's Excel, whether it's data analytics. We all need to have that skill in order to communicate our findings in a way that people can actually assimilate. So this is the end of my presentation. I didn't know actually go this far, but this is the end of my presentation. So thank you for your attention, and remember that skills would always get you trained, but communication gets you hired and retained. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you. All right, guys. So um please, if there is any question, kindly drop it in the chat for us, and then we will take it up from there. If there is any question at all, if you have any question you want to ask. Okay, so if there is no more questions, I will invite Mr. Somenu. He actually wants to have a 5 minutes with us. And thank you so much, Isaac. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, Mr. Somenu, please, if you can actually hear us, you can proceed.
Wow, what a time. 3 days of learning, relearning. Wow, 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 wow. Nora, thank you so much. I think I joined when you were having your session. That was really powerful. There's this
Thank
secret
you.
that most university students don't know, that career progression, you know, is it draws on signals. And I'll tell you the signals very, very soon. And so I really love the session. I really love the session because you can know, you can say you are the best, but if you don't know how to communicate your value, you will be there and nobody will notice you, or you never get noticed. And so communication is one of the things that you need a lot. So let me tell you the signals that you need as you are moving to your job. One, communication, you need it. How to communicate impact, how to communicate with impact is one thing that you need a lot. Teamwork, and I saw Nora mentioning teamwork is one other thing that you need to know. My HR keeps repeating every time that a fool on a team who talks or who knows how to communicate ideas will get promoted over somebody who knows everything but doesn't know how to be visible, doesn't know how to show what he knows. And so learn how to communicate, learn how to put your ideas across, and you will be unstoppable. I know that we've learned a lot, and today too, the time is up 7:05. Do you think we should close? We have our last session to do on Excel. Then we close, but it's time. If you want us to close, just type close, close, close. If you don't want us to close, you can also type it. Oh, let's add 5 minutes, then we close. So if you want 5 minutes, type 5 minutes. If you want us to close, type close, then we close. So I'm waiting.
Hey, no, nothing is in the chat too, meaning people want us to continue. Oh,
5 minutes.
okay.
Okay,
So
let's
Pius
say
says
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
All right, so I think silence means they want us to add some 5 minutes. So guys, let's do some
Yeah.
5 minutes. It is not enough, as we mentioned, we've established right now that if you know the thing and you don't know how to communicate it, then there's no need even knowing it in the first place. And so how do we bring our data to life? Yesterday we learned a lot. We know how to bring insight out of the data, but how do we bring it to life? The only way we can bring that data to life is when we present it in a report, is when we are able to visualize the data. I said that research has shown that people are able to understand better, understand presentations better, understand your communication better when you present it in a chat. And so it is important that we know how to bring insights out of the data. But how do we bring it to life? How do we bring it to life? So 5 minutes, I'm going to be straightforward. I'm going to show you what you really need, the most important things that we can end to this session. So quickly, let me just share my screen. All right. So I hope my screen is showing. Nora, confirm if it's showing.
Yes, I can see your screen from here.
Okay. All right. So quickly, let's do this. So yesterday, this is where we ended. We've been able to, we've used some formulas to be able to answer most of our questions, but we've gotten here where can we summarize everything in one clean report for decision making? So this is where pivot tables comes in, and this is where visualization comes in. So how can we analyze our data easily, very fast, within 30 to 1 minute? How can we analyze our data? So these are some of the questions we have. How are we able to see how many male and female participants are there? Pivot table is really powerful. We can do that. Now, I love my work to be structured. And so anytime I want to do something like that, I want to do it in a new sheet so that I look more structured. So this is my new sheet. I've created that. I taught you how to create that yesterday by just clicking the plus and you'll get that. Let me rename that to pivot tables. So now, where do I want my pivot table to show? So it is this sheet. It is this sheet. So to get a pivot table, what I want to do is to go to insert, then go to pivot table, which is here, then from table range. So where are we getting the data? So we'll click that to go choose the data that we'll be using for our analysis. So let's click that. Then when you come here, you have something like this. So what you want to do next is to go to the data where you are picking the data, which is this one, which is this sheet. So we click on this sheet, then select the first part. Now, if the data is really large, the ideal thing you think you have to do is to select that manually, which can be slow. But there's a trick that you can use to select your data, even if it is millions of sheets. What you want to do is that just once the top is selected, press Ctrl Shift, then the right arrow key. Why the right arrow key is because we want to select to the right. And so once you have your Ctrl Shift selected, then right arrow key, and it goes to this side. Now we want to go to the down so that we can have all the data selected. So the down arrow key and everything is selected. You can see everything is selected now. And so if you have thousands and thousands of sheets, if you do that, you'll be able to select the entire sheet. So once you have that, you just press OK. Once you have OK, so we have our pivot table now. We have our pivot table now. Now the first question we want to answer is, let's do this. I'll just do two because of time. So let's do how many male versus female participants that we have. How many are they? How many do we have? What do we have? So to get that, we'll get a gender here. So you are sending the gender to the row. So click and move to the row. If you do that, you realize that you have male and female. You have male and female. Now, what we are doing is to count. So to count, what you want to do is to bring this, because this is what we want to count. So you are bringing this to the values. This is where we do all calculations. So it's the values area that we do all calculations. Now, because we are counting, then we have to bring that here again. If you see that automatically it is on count, which has given us the 25 to 25 that we had yesterday. Is that not what we had yesterday? So you see how powerful pivot table can be. Just by using this, we're able to analyze that very fast, and we have 25, 25, and it is even giving us a total. Now you can also change that, but I'm not doing that here. I want us to do the next one so that you can see that you can also do another one. You can also do another one, something like sum, something like average. You can do that as well. And so let's do that. Let's do that. So we are creating another pivot table so that we don't this. Like average, you can do that as well. So that you don't use this, we have to create another pivot table. It's either you create another pivot table or you copy this and paste it there and change it. So any of them works. Because of time, let's copy everything here, then paste it here. So immediately you do that, you have your pivot table now. But this time we are not coming to do this. We want to solve another problem or question. And so to get rid of this, just click on it and move it to an empty area and it will go. Click on it, move it to an empty area, and it will go. All right. So now the next question we want to answer is that which course had the best performance? So for us to be able to know which course had the best performance, we have to get the course and we add for each course. We add for each course. What we did yesterday is to use the sum if to be able to do that. But with pivot table, just by clicking and dropping or dragging and dropping, we're able to do that easily. So to know the composites, we just bring the composites to rows. Then the score is where we want to add. Then bring the score here. And automatically you see it's giving us sum. And you're able to see that Cape Coast, this is what Cape Coast is having. This is what Ho is having. This is what KNS is having. And this is what Legon is also having. And how about want to see for average? To see for average, you just come to this place, click on here, then go to value field settings, and then you can change it to any other thing you want to change it to. If you want to change it to count, you can do that. Average, you can do that. Max, you can do that. Min, you can do that. But for this, we are keeping it at sum. And so you can do it for any other thing you want to do it for. Any other thing, that's the same way you are going to do that. So now we have our pivot table. Just by dragging, dropping, we're able to solve the questions. We're not going to solve all. I wish we have time so that we can solve all, but we are not going to solve all. At least this should give you foundation. I believe in a strong foundation. Once you have that, you are able to add on by yourself. So now we have this, but I told you that the only way we can bring data to life is when we represent that on a chart. So we want to see which one is the highest here. So let's represent this on a chart so that we are able to see which one is higher. So to do that, click on where you want to represent on a chart, then go to insert. Then you come here, you have different charts. But most of the times, Excel gives us recommended charts that you want us to use. So let's go for the recommended chart because I like using that a lot. Now, if you check the column area, you realize that Excel has given us some recommendation that they want us to use. And I think this goes for me. But if you don't want that, you can change it. Now, your choice of chart will be influenced by what type of data you are using. So if you are showing relationship, the chart you use is different from if you are doing a part to whole relationship. So if it's a part to whole relationship, you use a pie chart. If it is you want to show relationship, a bar chart can work or a column chart can work. So we are going with a column chart, and so we are going to click OK. Immediately you click OK, you realize that you see the chart was able to, just by looking at this at a glance, you know that Legon is the highest here, followed by KNUST, followed by Ho, followed by Cape Coast. So that is how you can bring your data to life. Now, how do we modify it a bit? Most of the things are not looking nice. So to do that, you can do it here. You can work on the x-axis. If you want to change certain things, you can come here and change it. Chart, you can do the same thing. Because of time, I will not be able to do everything. You can go back and explore that for yourself. Thank you so much, guys. I hope this is clear. If there's any question you can ask whilst we are taking the questions. Whilst we are taking the questions, I know you really enjoyed this session. I know you really enjoyed this session. And I know that with these skills, if you can take time to refine, if you can take time to nurture it, I can tell you that you are going to stand out from your friends. Some people don't even know how to send simple emails, but throughout this session, you know how to do it. It's not something that I'm just saying, it's lived experiences. Last year, we had a lady who came to do an internship, and she was asked to send an Excel file through email. She couldn't send it. And it's embarrassing. Honestly, it is embarrassing. Something as simple as email, you cannot send. And nobody will employ you if you cannot send email, because email is the most used communication tool at the workplace. So I believe that all the tools that you have now, communication, emails, LinkedIn, don't take it as a joke. Be visible. You can be as talented as like there's one guy who is now building softwares a lot, but if you're not visible, nobody will know you. And so be visible on LinkedIn. I have seen numerous opportunities just by posting on LinkedIn and people reacting to my post. And I've seen a lot of opportunities. I've engaged with senior people globally just because I post on LinkedIn. So post on LinkedIn. Be visible. If you don't like LinkedIn, look for a social media handle that works for you. But I will recommend LinkedIn because that is what has worked for me. And I know that if you are intentional enough, that is also going to work for you as well. Now, those of you that want to go ahead, you think that this is just the foundations, you want to go ahead. We run a course, Data Analytics Accelerator Program, where we take you from the very beginning, the very basic, uh, from Excel to SQL to Power BI. So those of you who are fascinated by problem solving, you want to have a skill that even you can start earning from campus. You can start earning from campus with these skills. So if you want to join the course, Forgive, are you there? Can you drop your number in the chat so that they can reach out to you? Those of them who want to have the course can reach out to you, then get themselves registered and join the course. We're also having a seminar on the 28th, a summit on the 28th of this next month. On the 28th of next month. Those of you who are in Ghana, it is 5 p.m. Those of you who are outside Ghana, maybe the US, it is going to be 12 p.m. noon. The theme of the summit is the future of work, how high impact skills that African youths need to compete globally. So if you are ready to compete globally, we are bringing global expertise, people with over 25 years of experience from the UK and the US to come and give us what works. So if you want that, you can also reach out. I think Forgive is not here. So Nora, you can drop your number, or David, any of you can drop your number so that they will reach out to you and join. So guys, if no question, thank you so much. And some of you requested for certificates. You can pay for your certificate and then we'll get that for you. And I've seen that some people have submitted their assignment. Rejoice has submitted her assignment. I also saw that Isaac, let me be sure. One other person has submitted his assignment. Let me check. So if you know you've not submitted your assignment, this is a chance for you to submit your assignment and get a feedback. Okay, God's love and Rejoice, your assignment is well received. Now, after this session, you can go back and complete the assignment on D and E as well and submit it. Now, you submitted your assignment, but I've not seen you post on LinkedIn. That's the most important part for me, because it's not enough to know the skill. It's not enough to know the skill. Let people know that you know it. Build credibility. Post on LinkedIn. That's how we infuse that in the assignment so that you can do that. So go ahead and do that. And thank you all for joining the session for 3 good days. Nora, over to you.
Wow, 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 wow. This is intriguing. This is so exciting and heartwarming. Thank you so much. Thank you for together making Campus to Career Bootcamp Excel Edition a reality. Thank you. We are grateful for the feedback. We are grateful that we actually came to you and you responded. Thank you for opening yourself to much more learning and intensive learning. Thank you. We know that a year by this time, we will not just find ourselves here, but by a year now, we will all become experts in our field of work. We will become experts in our chosen fields, and will be shaping and impacting lives all around us. And one thing that is so paramount for me, please let's be posting on LinkedIn. Make yourself visible. It's not enough just learning and just leaving the learning scene. No, like these 3 days training that we've just had. You can be updating your LinkedIn community of what you are learning. Even if it's one thing you heard about CV writing, go ahead and post it over there. Even if it's one thing you heard about Excel, go ahead and post it and ask of people's opinions, what they also think. And together, that is how we are all going to rise. So thank you once again. Thank you for making this whole program a success. We are grateful. Impact Minds Network is grateful that they called and you answered. We'll have a short prayer, and then we would just say goodbye. Lord, we thank you for a wonderful third day. We are grateful. We are grateful. We thank you for giving us the opportunity to learn. Therefore, we are not going to just leave what we have learned. We are going to make the most out of it. And you are going to bless us, because you said it is those that are given that they are going to get multiplication, because they are able to handle it well. Help us to make use of what we've learned today, so that you entrust more into our hands. We thank you in Jesus' mighty name. Have we prayed with thanksgiving? Amen. So, guys, this is where we call it goodbye. Thank you for sticking and staying with us. We are grateful. Until then, watch out for Impact Minds on LinkedIn and stay updated with all the upcoming programs. Thank you so much, and do enjoy the rest of your evening.